Hey y'all, welcome to Outwitting Your Device. This mini course is designed as a 5-step quick start guide that I believe should have been provided to us with our devices. My name is Kay Short, and I'll be your guide during this process. I'll support you in how to set up your device step by step to ensure that it is fully customizable to you. So go ahead, grab your phone, and let's get started. So, the purpose of this mini course is to support you in getting your time, your attention, your focus, and your peace back. Our devices and our screens are something that are part of our daily life and in our new world. Since we have been in this new world and have been given this new tool, unfortunately, it didn't come with a manual in the ways that it was going to shape our behavior and our attention. So, this is designed in what I wish was shown to me before I was given my smartphone. I'm going to be giving you all 5 simple steps to set up your device to ensure that it works for you instead of against you. Those 5 steps are going to be deleting unnecessary apps. Number 2 is then organizing our apps into categories. 3 is organizing our home screen. 4 is setting up notification permissions. And 5 is going to be do not disturb profiles. And then I'm going to include a bonus video in there for all of you to share a recent trick that I've discovered that has helped me tremendously. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this mini course. The one thing that I wish was given to me with my device was also a pair of blue lit glasses, or as you can see, orange lit glasses, so that I can protect my eyes from the blue light that is being emitted from our screens. So most importantly, before we even talk about devices, it's important that we talk about our health and our relationship to them. Obviously, this is what we use to see the information that is being emitted through these screens. And so it's important that we have a guard and a filter to ensure that whatever is being created behind these screens, that we don't get the full effects into our eyes and how it affects our eye health. So not only our eyes, but also our bodies, realizing that a lot of times we find these screens sitting at a desk. And so a big part of this is movement and stretching. If you have the means, make sure to invest in a stand-up desk. And if not a stand-up desk, ensuring that you get something that allows you to at least adjust the desk height. And so it could be something like I have, which it's a desk that I put on top of the physical desk and I'm able to adjust it accordingly. And third is stretching. Not only before you sit at a desk, but during and after. So ensuring that we are moving our bodies often and giving it breaks. Because again, this is a part of the new modern world that we live in. Before we came from a natural world where we were often moving our bodies, whether it's picking berries or hunting or taking care of children or building things. So we were not sitting at a sedated desk and being hunched over with our shoulders up and our necks scrunched forward, just typing away at the same stagnant movement of our elbows, our wrists, and our fingers. So make sure that if you are working at a desk for long periods of time or looking at your phone for long periods of time or any of your other devices, ensure that you are not just stretching, it's also mobility, that we're getting movement and rotation in our hips. So you can go onto YouTube and put desk mobility or desk stretches to ensure that you're targeting those areas that are affected the most. And so you'll see that it's going to be a lot of neck, shoulders, lower back, and hips. So again, before even giving someone a device, this is what I wish someone would have told me prior to me building a relationship with this tool. So number 1, the priority of the health of our body. Not only our eyes, not only our physical body, but also our mind. All right, so after all of that is said and done, let's get to the actual device setup. Welcome to the first video of our device setup. We're talking about foundations when we first get our iPhone. It's one thing to get the phone, it's another thing to be preventative of the effects of the phone. And first and foremost, like we talked about in the very first video, make sure to get your blue light or your orange lit glasses on and ready to go to look at these screens. So you get your first iPhone or you get a new iPhone and there's a whole bunch of apps in there that are already in there by default. The first thing when it comes to organizing your device and setting it up is making sure that the apps that are on there are the apps that you actually want. I'll go ahead and give you all a sneak peek of what my current iPhone looks like right now. And I will then show you all how to move around apps, how to delete apps, and organize them in a way that makes sense for you. Let's go ahead and get into it. Here is my iPhone. What should be on your home screen is what you access the most often. As you can see here, I have my clock, which I set my alarms in the morning when I have any meetings for that day. I have my photos. I have the productivity section, navigation, more productivity, social, business, and health. More importantly, what you typically have is your phone, your settings. This for me is my browsers and then my communication channels. Let's go ahead and show you all how to move around these apps, delete these apps, and so that you can customize it to the way that best fits you. If we go over here actually to this other window, these are the apps that typically come in your phone. So I've put them in a very particular folder called utilities. When it comes to deleting apps, I'm going to go ahead and delete actually the calendar app. You're going to hold down the app and then you're going to say edit home screen. And so then you can delete it right here. So you can remove from the home screen or you can delete the app altogether. So if you remove from the home screen, where you're going to be able to find this is actually when you get to this last page right over here. This is just your app library where it's already organized for you according to Apple's preferences. But if you want it completely off of your phone, then that's when you go in here and you delete the app in general. If you just don't want it on your home screen and you want it still in this background here, you can keep it in the app library. Say you don't like to order these utilities. Even myself, I'm looking at this and it doesn't feel quite cohesive the way that I would like it. So if you would like to move them, again, you can see that they're wiggling. So because they're wiggling, that means that they're ready to move. My brain already is like, I want to put like with like things. So I'm seeing all black over here. And so you get to move them around based off of your preference. Boop, boop, boop. I see find my phone here. And then, okay, that looks nice. I can do that. Perfect. That makes my brain happy. I keep all the blacks here and the blues and greens here and then this fun multicolors in the middle. All right, so that is how you move apps on your screen, deleting apps too. What I challenge you all to do, first things first, is go through all of your apps and start deleting the apps that you no longer need. Okay, that's the first and foremost. If you haven't used it in the past 3 months, go ahead and delete those apps too. You can always re-download them. So I'll go ahead and give you a minute for you to do that right now. Okay, so you have finished step number 1, which you have gone through all of your apps and you've deleted the apps that you no longer use or have never used before. There's actually a law of the universe that is called the law of use. And so as most people say, if you don't use it, you lose it. So step number 2 is to now organize these apps. If you remember what my iPhone looks like, I end up gathering the apps that are like with like apps, and that makes sense for them to be together, as opposed to being spread throughout many parts of your home screen in the many pages. I will say, even right now, as I'm looking at my iPhone, I'm just like, do I need all of these apps right here on the first home screen that I open? Possibly not. So I'm going to actually do this with you. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to be more intentional about like what actually needs to be right here, front and center when I open up my iPhone. So why don't we go ahead and do it together and group our apps with other like apps at the same time? Let's go. So as you can see right here on my iPhone, I've put these with like apps. And so this is where I have all of my notes. This is regular notes. This is voice memo notes. And then these are my voice notes. Then also in this back screen is my Calendly, my Dashlane, my Hotspot Shield. And I could tell you more about these two at a later time because I'll eventually talk to you all about it when it comes to setting up our devices for success. And so here is our navigation. Why I have Google Translate in here is because I'm in a new country. So it's navigating a new language. Here is my health apps. The cool thing about apps nowadays is that they notice that when you're not using the app as much as other apps, it will kind of put this in a like semi middle cloud where it's like it's still on your phone, but it's not fully downloaded onto your phone. So then I have my business stuff here, my socials here, and which also is along with like any apps in terms of content creation. This is my productivity app in terms of what I'm using more on a daily basis. And then in this very back page, I have my finance app, my lifestyles app, and then again, those utilities that you saw on the first page. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move this whole page over here. Because the reality is I do use this the most. So we'll go like that. We're going to delete you. Go ahead and delete the toggle for now, because the reality is I haven't been using it all that much. So then, as you saw, it naturally pushes the apps onto the page closest to it and doesn't leave it blank. That feels a lot better. All right, I think that's a good place to stop right there. As you saw, I did it with you all. Again, it's really important that when it comes to organizing your home screen is being really intentional about what do you want on that first page. Even looking at it again, I'm just like, you know what? Do I still need all of those apps on my home screen? As we know that this device is meant to distract us, it's meant to make us drift away from our dreams. And it's asking those bigger questions like, does this make sense for it to be right here on the first home screen? It should really be your most used apps and the apps that you want to have your attention when you first open up your home screen. And then the second screen will be your apps that you use every so often or that you use pretty often but don't want it to be distracting. So again, this is the second part of your device setup. We have already gone through deleting all unnecessary apps on your phone. And now we ended up organizing all of your apps and putting them with like apps. In the next video, I'm going to share with you all how to start customizing your home screen. As you can see, I have a couple widgets in there. For those of you who don't know what widgets are, it's just for the apps to be a little bit more bigger and bolder to grab your attention in the ways that you want to do it. Again, this is all customizable to you. So asking yourself, like, where do you want certain apps? What makes most sense for you? Which apps do you want to grab your attention more? Which apps do you want to grab your attention less? Or which apps can you completely get rid of? In the next video, we're going to move into widgets and customizing our home screen fully and completely. I'll see you there. Welcome to video 3 of the device setup series. Today, we're going to be talking about how to organize your home screen that makes the most sense for you. And we're going to also enlarge some apps and turn them into widgets. So let's get to it. As I shared with you all in the last video, I was asking myself the bigger questions of which apps actually need to be on my home screen and what are the first things that I need to see the moment that I open up my iPhone, because these are actually the apps that I want to be the first thing that I look at in the morning because it helps me with my morning routine. Just to share a little bit more about my morning routine, I'll go right in here to this health app, and then I have a particular audio file in there that I listen to while I am doing my morning stretches and also now doing my morning mobility. When I'm done stretching, then I'll do a meditation. So I know for a fact those apps I need first thing in the morning. Now, when it comes to the rest of these apps, I'm going to be completely honest with myself. I don't need business on this first page. I'm going to go ahead and just move that over. And as you all saw, all you have to do is just hold down one of the categorized apps and just click edit home screen. Let's be honest, I don't need socials here. I don't need it on the first page of my screen. I have a little bit of room here. I'm not sure about y'all, but I tend to be like, I want it to look pretty. I want it to make sense. How can I make this make sense for me? Let's think about it. But as you can see, I'm having a conversation with myself. I'm like, how can I make this work for me? What do I know about myself and the ways that I like things to look, the way that I like things to feel? My first idea is to maybe I can make this smaller, and then that would probably take up space in a different way. So let's try it. When it comes to these apps, ones that you use often, every single day, I literally open up these 3 major apps because I want it to have my attention the moment that I open up this screen. I'm curious, this indie app is actually really interesting to me. Can I just turn her into a widget? So let me go ahead and show you all widgets. Go ahead and just click on the home screen and get them shaking because you're going to move them. I'm going to go ahead and click edit. I'm going to add widget and see if Indie has a widget. And let's see if it does. Boom. 2 different kinds of widgets. And I wonder if I'd like this bigger one. Add widget. Okay. See, I like that. Because I like that, boom, bada bing. All right. We're going to move you over. So I'm putting her top of mind first thing in the morning because I want to be like, that's the thing I'm working on. That's the habit that I'm trying to build. This is my focus. Every time I open up my phone, did I finish that morning focus? And then I'm attempting to build the habit of this night reflection. I think that's it. I think we're good with this. Yep, we use those first. Cool. And, sometimes it's fun moving things around just to give your iPhone a fresh look. It takes time. It takes a little bit of patience. But again, making it work for you. That is the most important part of this video, is that you now have gone through 3 steps of your device setup. 1, you have deleted apps that no longer need to be there. 2, you've grouped apps with like apps. And 3, you all just learned how to add widgets, adjust widgets, and then also customize your home screen. And are now asking the bigger questions. What is most necessary to be on my home screen that wants my attention first thing in the morning? What makes sense to be on my home screen every time I open up my iPhone? So you've already done 3 crucial steps to set up your device to make sure that it works for you. Today, we are talking about one of my favorite hacks when it comes to our iPhones and managing our devices and our attention. This is the part where most people do not tell us about. Every time I look at someone's iPhone, this is the one thing that drives me wild. And it's seeing that red little dot on everybody's apps, particularly on 2 apps, iMessages and their emails. But if you are here, then that means that you want to get in control of your time, your attention, and your focus. And so I'm going to be showing you all this particular game changer. This is probably one of the first things I would tell anybody to do beyond setting up their homepage, beyond the apps. Like, this is the thing that steals our attention the most. And when I figured this out, I just experienced more peace than I ever had with my iPhone ever. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so welcome to my home screen. As you all saw in the last video, this is what we have came up with together. You have already deleted apps that no longer need to be on your iPhone that was already in there just by default. And then 2, you end up organizing your home screen by putting apps with like apps, and that makes sense for you. 3rd, we have worked on is by adding widgets and organizing your home screen in an intentional way. Today, we are talking about notifications. This is what my phone looks like right now. And that little red dot that we talked about, do you see any of these little red dots? No. So they're not taking my attention, because I don't know about you, but I'm the type of person where I see a red dot, it's asking for my attention. When it comes to color theory and color psychology, we already know that the color red is a color that grabs our attention most, right? When we think about when we were in our villages, fire, red, orange, yellows, and that flicker of a blue grab our attention so much, and we want to go near the fire. Just like when it comes to our phone, we want to go near the fire, right? This is now the new campfire. This is where we find the stories. This is where we gather. We gather around this iPhone. But the difference is there's not other people gathering around the same iPhone as often. Now everyone's around their own personal fires. I personally think was intentional when they were creating these devices in the first place. And they said, ooh, red. I know for a fact that they are primitive, and that if I put the color red, that means that that's going to draw their attention naturally, habitually, to want to interact with it, to want to engage with it. I'm going to show you all how to turn off your notifications, but turn them off in a way that make sense for you in terms of which ones you want to receive, which ones you don't want to receive, and also how you want to receive them. Recognizing that every time you download an app, they ask you that question. They say, allow notifications. And I put deny, deny, deny. And I will decide later if I want to allow those notifications. But that's a part of the process, is like not moving so fast where you're able to make these micro decisions that will affect you in the future, or that will affect you later. Sometimes you're so quick to download an app and you just say allow notifications just to keep it going so that it downloads the full app. Wait a second. That's a beat. That's a pause. That's a breath. I'm going to take a breath really quick because I'm getting really passionate about it. Yes, I'm downloading this new app. I'm excited to learn more about it. I want to see how it works for me. But do I want its notifications? And if so, how do I want to be notified? So why don't we just go ahead and download an app just for example purposes? All right, what do we want to download today? Let's just do YouTube. Okay, so the app has downloaded. We're going to open it right here. YouTube would like to send you notifications. don't allow. Again, don't click so quickly through it. Just ask yourself, do I want this app to send me notifications? If not, say don't allow. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. We're going to go here to your settings. If you don't know how to get to your settings, if it's not on your home screen the way that it's on my home screen, you could go to your app library and you can find your settings right in here. And then you go to notifications. And so this is how you'll see it when you have turned off your phone. And so then when you click your home screen button on your phone, then you'll see it in a count, a stack, or a list. I've chosen list. And so then it just shows the previews. You can always turn this off, whether when it's unlocked or never. When it comes to screen sharing, you can have your notifications come through or not come through. I don't want my notifications to come through when I'm screen sharing like I'm doing it right now. Now you have all your apps. As you can see here for myself, most of my apps are off, okay? But there's some apps that are delivering quietly and I don't want that. So then I'll go straight into the app and I'm just gonna turn off the allow notifications. Boom, it's all gone. Let's go ahead and do it together. I'm gonna review some of my apps and see which ones I no longer want here. So I want the notification center, but I don't want it to notify me any other way. I just want it there just in case I so happen to see it. At least I'm getting a notification. Let's see if there's anything else in here that I'd want. Banners and sounds, time sensitivity notifications, lock screen, show on Mac. Yeah, this is things that I've already decided in the past. And it makes sense for me as of right now at this time in my life, and recognizing this can change. I know for me, when I was using Instagram as a primary messaging spot, I had those notifications on. And then I said, you know what? If it's really that important, they'll message me through text message or they'll call me. And so then I turned that off and I communicated to people who I was communicating with on the app to be like, hey, if it's important or if we want to continue this conversation, here's my number and let's go ahead and keep it on iMessage instead. So again, most of my apps are off. This is a new app I recently downloaded. I said, yes, I want to be notified, but I have not gone in here and I have not customized it myself. So let's go ahead and do that right now. All right, so you can see this is like the standard. Everything is on. How do I want this app to notify me? That is the question that we need to ask ourselves. I don't think it needs to show on my Mac, but I would want it to notify me in badges. When it comes to this, I think I don't need banners. See, but if I did that, it'd be persistent and temporary, and I don't need notification center, but we'll keep sound and badges and lock screen on. That's how I'd like to be notified by the Indie app. Let's go ahead and look if there's any others here that I'm like, I don't know if I want all that. I'm going to turn them off right now. Sounds and badges, critical alerts, time-sensitive notifications. So this is iPhone message. I don't want it to show on my Mac. Decide of where you're going to get notified for what things. Your Mac and your iPhone don't need to be communicating all the time together. That literally is stealing your focus. Decide now how you want to be notified on your Mac and how you want to be notified on your iPhone. And so right here, I don't want to be notified on my Mac. I definitely don't want to be notified when I'm in my car. But badges is important to me because, like I said, that red, I'm like, oh, something seems important there. I will get to it when I'm ready. But I don't even have it on banners, notification, or lock screen. I do allow the notifications. And again, I have it through the badges. And I've also set it to a certain sound that I am familiar with. And so that's another part of the decision-making process so that your brain is like, okay, when I hear that sound, because I don't see the red notification button, but when I hear that sound, I'm like, oh, that's a text message. Then I get to make the decision and say, like, do I want to go respond to that text message? And if I don't, then I don't. But at least I know it was a text message that came through. All right, the rest of these, phone, obviously, when someone's calling, I don't want it on my Mac. Again, sounds is old phone, persistent. We're going to keep it temporary. Let's be honest. We don't answer phones first ring anymore. If it's really important, double dial. And WhatsApp, you're doing the most too. We don't need that. We don't need that. And that's good with me. Cool. So that is how you manage your notifications and you decide how do you want to be notified. As you can see, most of these are off. That is going to be your challenge for today. Go into your notifications, exactly how we got there. We got there through our settings, wherever you have that on your phone. If you don't know where it's at, go to your app library. It's going to be right there. And you're going to go in there to your settings. You're going to scroll down. You're going to go to notifications. And this is going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to bet most of these are going to be turned off, but you're going to feel so much more in control of your device, recognizing that you said, you know what, this is how I want to be notified by you, instead of them saying, allow notifications and completely blast me with all of the notifications in the ways that you want to steal my attention, in the ways that you want to distract me, in the ways that you want to take my focus away from me. So once you do this, such a game changer when it comes to managing and being in control of your device. So go ahead and do that right now. And I will see you all in the next video where we're going to be talking about do not disturb profiles and how we can set them up when we want to give people permission to disturb us and when we do not. All right, y'all. Good luck on this part, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Welcome to the fifth and final video of our device setup series. We have gone through 4 steps on how to set up your device the moment that you get your iPhone. First one, we talked about the default apps that show up on your iPhone and asking yourself, do they actually need to be there? The second tip is that we ended up going through our iPhone and we started grouping apps with like apps. So making sure that you're categorizing them in a way that makes sense for you. The third video that we went through is that we organized our home screen intentionally. That also looked like adding widgets, which are apps that have then been magnified because you want it to have more of your attention. So again, the big question on this video was, how can I be intentional about what is on my home screen? And I went through all of that with you. Then I showed you all how to add widgets on there and how to move them on your home screen and making sure that they make sense for you. The last video is that we talked about notifications and managing their permissions. And we talked about oftentimes we get so excited to download a new app, we just automatically give them permission and allow them to notify us. Well, that is actually the opportunity for us to take a beat and ask ourselves, do I want to be notified by this app? And so we went into our notifications app by app and we asked ourselves, how do I want to be notified, if at all, by this app? And as you can see, there was so many different ways on how to be notified. It could be temporary, it could be persistent, it could be on the lock screen, it could be on the notification screen, it could be as a banner, it could be through badges, it could be through sounds. There's so many different ways on how to be notified. And no wonder this device is stealing our attention. And so if you went through that particular step, kudos to you, because that is a huge step in getting your attention back. And lastly, we are on step number 5. We are going to be talking about do not disturb profiles. So yes, you can go through deleting your apps, organizing your apps, adding widgets, organizing your home screen, and also going through each app and asking which notifications you want to come through. But the do not disturb profiles are taking this to the next level. And it's asking yourself, when I put on this particular profile, what am I actually doing? What apps do I want to be able to filter through that profile and making sure that when it's on, I'm truly being notified in the ways that I want to be notified and what's important to me and who's important to me. There's already some default do not disturb profiles in here, but this is a fun feature where you can just scroll down from the top of your home screen, click that do not disturb profile, and your phone goes into a setting where it says, do not bother this person until this person turns it off. We get to now customize that on what makes the most sense for you. So let's get to it. All right, so we are here on my iPhone home screen, in which we ended up organizing together in video 2 and 3. As you can see right now, I currently have my notifications coming through on my iPhone. I have a voicemail here, I have some messages here, and I also have 12 emails in here. I want to actually turn all of that off because I don't want to tend to those notifications right now. And I'm also about to go on a walk, or I'm about to work out, or I'm about to get into a creation block. And so I just want to turn them all off because I don't want to tend to those notifications right now. But when I turn this do not disturb profile off and lift that screen up, then I want to make sure that I know what I need to tend to when I get back onto my iPhone's home screen. This is how you do it. You're going to go ahead and go to your settings, and you are going to go to focus. And as you can see, we already have a standard for do not disturb profiles. And I like to share it across devices. This is the one thing I like to share between my iPhone and my MacBook because I want to make sure they're on the same page, because oftentimes they're in the same room with me. Right now, I have do not disturb. We're going to go ahead and click that. This is where only 3 people are allowed to get in touch with me. It's my mom, my dad, and my partner in the WhatsApp. As you can see right here, this is the do not disturb where it's going to be completely silence. So notifications from selected people and apps will be allowed. All others will be silenced. You get to choose the people of who you want to get notifications from. So you can go ahead in here and you can pick the people that you want to add in there that you want to be notified by. Of course, I have my mom and my dad also in my favorite. So I just make sure that my favorites can also come through. And more importantly, if it's super, super important, then I allow them to call twice and then it will break through the do not disturb profile. Interesting enough, if you actually don't want to be bothered by your parents or your grandparents, you can actually silence notifications from these particular people too. But thankfully, my parents are not those kinds of parents, so I will allow notifications from mom and dad. So just so you know, mom and dad, that if you ever call, then I'm most definitely going to answer it no matter which do not disturb profile is on. And what we get to do is we get to choose the schedule of what times these get to be on. So you can schedule it from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. every single day. And if I want to change that, then we can change that. We could delete the schedule. We can change the days. We could change the time. It's pretty self-explanatory. But the cool part is that you get to have schedules on that. And so if that's every day and you're only like, I only want to talk to my parents if it's super important, then you can add another schedule and then you can activate it in the ways that make most sense for you. So if it's certain times, again, you're like, these are the times where I don't want to be bothered from 2 to 3 p.m. Okay, so make that so. Then you also get to add some features. You can add features in terms if you want it to be a dark appearance, a light appearance, and you can enable that, or you cannot enable that, or you could delete that filter. Then you can also do low power mode. And you can also add filters in there if you want to be filtered through your calendar, your messages, your email, your phone, and your browser. All right, next is fitness. I think I don't let anyone bother me when I'm working out. So, yeah, I just don't want to be bothered. Personal, just the most important people that need to be on there. Time sensitive notifications. So, what does that look like? Notification options, show on lock screen, hide notification badges. So, as you can already see, like there's so many ways on how to customize this for you. And it takes some time. You're like, okay, what does that actually mean? Okay, show on lock screen, show silence notifications on the lock screen instead of in the notification center, which are 2 different places. And like what we talked about in the last video, you get to choose where you want these notifications to show up. Do you want it on a lock screen? Do you want it in the notification center? Or do you want it as a banner? And so we get to have these conversations and say, you know what? I actually want it to be notifying me in this way. But what I'm trying to say is like the default is to distract you. And so that's why it's so important that you go into your apps, you organize your home screen, that you put the widgets that you want there, that you allow the notifications that you want permission to notify you, and then you turn off the rest of them. Go in here and pick each one and customize it for yourself. What I love about this is that it shares with other people that if these are on in any way, it's going to notify them and let them know that you are not available at that time. And unfortunately, they were not given permission to get through that filter. And that's okay. You get to turn this back off and get back to them when it is most convenient to you. And that is a whole part of this bigger conversation, y'all. Again, is how can we use this for the tool that it is? For the tool that it is, and that you make it work for you instead of against you. So that wraps up our 5 videos. If you have gone through all of those steps, I would love to hear it in the comments below and see how they have been working for you. It feels like it's a different kind of relationship. If you feel like you're getting more of your time back, if you're getting more of your attention back, if you're getting more of your peace back, like I would love to hear how these tips have helped you in just getting your life back. Where focus goes, energy flows. And so in the last and final video, I'm going to be sharing with you all the trick that I have learned very recently that has been a game changer in wanting to have your attention back on what's most important in your life in that moment. So I'll see you all in the next video. Welcome to the bonus video of the device setup series. I have given you all 5 tips on what I wish was taught to me before I was even given a device. And that someone would have sat there with me and said, hey, this is what this beautiful, cool new tool and toy can do for you, but let's set it up first so that it works for you. Today, we're going to be talking about the bonus video that I wanted to share with you all because it's a very recent new trick that I found that I have been having so much fun with. And even though it's such a small little tweak, it actually makes a big difference in my attention. So why don't you go ahead and pull out your iPhone right now and we will do it together. All right, so here we are on my home screen. Go ahead and go to your settings. And then you're going to scroll down to accessibility. And you're going to scroll all the way down to accessibility shortcut. As you can see right here, it says configure and then triple click the side button to toggle accessibility features on or off. Remember, triple click. Click the word color filters. And now I can't do it on my phone because I'm currently nearing it to my MacBook. But do me a favor, click your phone 3 times and tell me what happens. Yeah, super cool, right? So if you didn't do it, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm excited for you if you did do it. If you ended up doing it, let me know in the comments below what happened to your phone when you clicked 3 times after putting on this accessibility shortcut. Honestly, it's my default setting. I prefer it to not have all that color because we are primitive beings, animalistic human beings that really respond well to color and to music and to sound. And I love this little trick because it just really gets me to view this device as the tool that it is. With that last bonus video, that wraps up our device series. I have given you not only 1, not only 2, not only 3, not only 4, not only 5, but 6 ways that you can set up your device so that it works for you and not against you. So if you've gone through all 6 of these steps, I would love to hear in the comments below how they've worked for you, if they're working for you, what your thoughts are, and if you feel yourself just feeling a little different with your relationship to this tool. I would just love to hear if you've shared it with someone else, if you taught it to somebody else, if you've taught it to your kiddos, if you've taught it to your parents, your grandparents. I'd love to know how it is supporting you in the life that you want to live, and more importantly, how it's supporting you in moving your mission forward. Next up, we're going to be talking about digital organization. That's going to be a whole thing on its own. It's not something that happens overnight, but it's something that's really intentional and it's really foundational. It's important to know that this isn't a one and done, fix it all. We're going to put a band-aid on it. As long as these devices are in our lives and in our modern world, it's something that we're going to continuously evolve, customize, and change with, and especially during the different seasons in our lives. Again, if we're going to continue to be using these devices as the tools that they are, it's super important to have a firm foundation. If that's something of interest to you, I also have available co-working sessions that can meet you where you're at on a monthly or weekly basis on how often you want to tend to your devices. What that would look like is a virtual co-working session with me and keeping our devices organized. That means deleting downloads, deleting files on our desktop, organizing folders, going through our emails, setting up a customized system for ourselves, and then being held accountable to tend to it on a monthly or weekly basis. So if that's something that's interest of you, click on the link below and see what next best steps look like for you. All right, and that is it. That completes the full device setup that I wish was given to me when I was given my first device. I hope that you found those tips and tricks useful. I hope that it was simple enough that you were able to not only implement it as we went along, but that you were also able to teach it to your loved ones. But before we go, I'm super proud of you that you went through the mini course. It takes a certain kind of person to have an honest conversation with themselves to say, I have a certain relationship with this device. I feel like it is controlling me more than I'm controlling it, and I want to do something about it. That says so much about you as a person and as an individual, and more importantly, as a leader. Not only a leader in your own life, but a leader in your family and in your communities. It's been an honor and privilege in guiding you in these 5 steps in setting up your device. I do not take it lightly. And if you want to take next steps with me and continue on this journey together, go ahead and check out the links available and see what is the next best step for you. So again, my name is Kay Short, and it's been an honor walking with you and guiding you through this process. And I look forward to seeing you in the near future. Bye now.